Hello, my name is Nick.
Take your time. Breathe. Your name, who you're with, and then who we're with.
Your social.
Yeah, that one too.
Redo
Yeah,
that.
no,
Redo
your
that.
thing, bro.
Let's cut that back. Hello, my name is Nick. I'm with Melody Minds, and today I'm here with
Josh?
Riley.
Cynthia?
Michaela.
and together you guys are.
Grizzlies.
All right.
Here in Spirit because she's on vacation. She's our keyboardist.
All right. So, as a band that formed during your time at URI through the Musicians Guild, what kept the band together after most of the members' graduation and the COVID pandemic?
I feel like definitely just like staying friends and like communicating and doing all that stuff because we always talk about how like we're like basically being in a band for this long, it's like a huge commitment, like, you know, it's basically like another job, you know, but I think that we always remind ourselves that, you know, we got to be friends first and we got to be like communicative with each other and all that stuff, and I think that we did a lot of that really well, like aside from like all of the, you know, life changes that we had, you know, we all had careers that we wanted to go into and stuff like that, and I think that we were always very like, you know, like I said, communicative, like about that stuff. For sure. Are there any moments in particular from like the Musicians Guild that helped shape like the sound you guys have today? Maybe like a band or something like that in like the Kingston music scene?
For sure. Like, I mean, definitely in the beginning, we started just to kind of play at an open mic one night that the guild was hosting, and you know, we had a couple of songs on there. We did like a mashup song, and at first it was just us kind of just, you know, playing what we wanted to play.
Yeah.
But when we started writing music, we gravitated towards our mutual love for this band, Hiatus Coyote, and at least for myself, like that's kind of how things went. For this particular like kind of vein of music that we're trying to tap into and do stuff around it, I remember going to a Catfish and the Bottlemen show at the Met, and this band Jetty opened up for them, and it was like, you know, very R&B, very like soul, but with like rock elements to it. And I remember being like, that's the kind of stuff I want to do. So that's like, and they're local, you know, we've never played with them, but that's kind of like where, at least for myself, guitar wise and stuff, that's where it came from.
For sure. Anything else? Anybody else want to?
Josh got it. Yeah, Hiatus Coyote was like definitely a big one for sure. Like, cause we always had that kind of hip hoppy kind of R&B-ish, but like we had some sort of elements of rock, and you know, Josh has a lot of really great like influence. Like he likes Santana, he likes Prince, like, and like just all of that like really cool like guitar shreddy type vibe thing, and you know. We were always like very experimental overall.
Even like I think even before Guild, I was friends with Michaela, and we would hang out a lot, and she would listen to a lot of Tool. And so that's what she brought. And so we kind of been like being like her R&B guru kind of in this thing. Like she's like, okay, I got metal, but like let's. And so we kind of been throwing it at her, and she's been doing so well over the years, like keeping up with it, you know.
Glad to hear it. Big question. Where did the band name Grizzlies come from? Was it like kind of a roll the dice type of thing, or was there like a real passion for bears in the band?
That's a funny one. No, yeah, Michaela has the answer for that.
It actually comes from our old drummer. His name was Harrison, and me and him used to hang out together in college. And I think when we were thinking of names for the band, I think at the time we were just playing NBA on like the PlayStation or something, and we were just like, oh, like Grizzlies would be a cool name. Like, how about that? Like, I guess there's a team on
the Memphis Grizzlies
on basketball. That's the Grizzlies. So actually comes from that. But
Okay.
yeah, it's just from our drummer just being silly, just high one time.
Okay.
Cooked, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think definitely like Grizzly sounds very like homey and like
And
you know.
it's a cute name.
It's cool. Yeah, it's definitely like the homey element, like the not comfortable, but like you know something that you. Kind
And I mean, originally our name was Nakamura after a Hiatus Coyote song,
Right.
Okay.
but
There was another.
we like read more into like why they chose that name for that song, and it was something about like blood names and stuff and like Aboriginal stuff, and we're like, we're not trying to appropriate anybody, man.
We're
So
getting involved in
we
that.
could, like, we love the band, but we'll figure something else
There's
out.
already
You know what
another
I mean?
band too named Nakamura. They seem like they have some sort of following. We were like, we're not trying to have the same name.
Yeah.
So.
Don't need that trademark, you know.
It's like,
Seriously.
you just look at Grizzly and you get a bunch of asteroids.
Well, we're Grizzlies.ri.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. You guys got the punctuation.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys got the punctuation. Seeing that you guys have tried out for Tiny Desk, not one, but 2 times with your songs Bead Song and Light Switch, I was thinking of asking each member what their favorite Tiny Desk concert is.
Like overall, like
Overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can think of just one.
Like in general, like of any Tiny Desk.
I have one. The Anderson Paak Tiny
Yes,
Desk.
that's my answer as
Anderson
well.
Paak.
Anderson Paak.
Cranberries.
Cranberries.
Good one.
Cranberries.
Nice.
I recently just saw No Name. She's like a rapper. She was really good. I would say that one was pretty up there for me. I'll give that as my answer. Yeah.
What can we expect from this new project you guys have been brewing up that's a little bit different than your EP Hibernation?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, this new the album that we're putting out, it's more of like a kind of archiving our old stuff and a couple of new songs in a way that represents what like all the progress that we've made, like sonically and like as a band. You know, when we did that EP, it was kind of like, hey, we have like $200. Can someone has a computer? Can you record us?
Yeah.
And you know, that was, everybody has to go through that, and we're very proud of that moment. But you know, showing somebody, hey, like this is our band.
Yeah.
At least for myself, I didn't really feel like it felt like a representation of what we, like all the progress that we made, like all like the little tweaks and stuff that we've kind of like made those songs to be now. And so it's like an effort to archive that music in the way that we think it should be represented, and then kind of putting that stuff, because it was a little sporadic, you know, like kind of just song ideas rather than like a complete art piece. So we're just trying to archive them, have them nice and pretty, and then kind of work on new stuff going forward.
For sure.
So it'll be a lot of familiar songs, but recorded, re-recorded, and
Like a
the
remaster.
full professional,
shebang.
like the full 9 yards.
The full night.
I'd like to add some of that too, because I feel like we were also just, you know, like the scene is very DIY, and like it's, you know, we typically find friends that can do things here and there, and that's always really cool because it kind of helps you put your stuff out. And I think that was really just more the goal for us, and I think that as we have evolved as a band, I think that we've noticed certain quality and stuff here and there. Like, I think that when we listen to our old stuff, sometimes we cringe because we're like, you know, this is our old stuff. But I think too, like, it does sound very raw, and like I think that for a raw band to like have that, I think that was pretty special and pretty cool. So I think that
Shout out to Ryan for helping us out
shout out to
with
Ryan,
that.
yeah,
Like,
and Marcos. He's a friend that we have that lives in Texas. He lives in Texas,
something
right?
like that.
Yeah, I did
and
the
we went
mixing
through
and
a mutual
mastering for
connection,
it. Yeah.
so like, yeah, he was always really supportive and stuff. So.
Awesome. Let's see. I got one for Cynthia. All right, so I'm gonna have you finish this lyric.
Oh shit.
You invite me in.
Oh, you invite me to listen to the Smiths. Oh.
There we go.
I thought you were gonna ask me one about like another band, and I was like, oh shit, like he's like testing me on like music taste, like.
That leads me to my next question. Like, could you name your favorite Smiths project? And like, has any of their releases had any influence on your band's sound?
So, Josh can definitely answer some of this questions.
Yeah.
I know you loved a lot of the Smiths.
Yeah.
Johnny Mars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think that overall, like the Smiths were just like a really moody band, like in high school, that I just loved. And I was a moody teenager. Who's not like a moody teenager? So I really like resonated with a lot of you know, just the overall vibe that they were going for. And, you know, Morrissey, at the time, I didn't know what a shitbag he was. So, like, I loved, like, his whole, like, you know, like, loner, emo boy, like, type shit. And, you know, I liked his voice, too. And I liked that they weren't always so, like, you know, sad boy all the time. You know, obviously, like, Charming Boy is a very upbeat song. So they had some pretty dancey songs. And, you know, people that like Charmed, you know, like, they have that one song that they did the theme song for. So, yeah, I would definitely say that overall for lyrics, like, I feel like I am pretty deep in certain things with my lyrics, and I think that's one way that they've probably influenced me overall, like, you know, that aspect.
Yeah.
But like Josh had.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially it. I mean, for guitar wise, like Johnny Marr taught me what you can do with just a single guitarist, and kind of pushes me to kind of do, like, kind of follow that example. And, you know, I'm always trying to use my influences to kind of make different stuff, but as a songwriter, even a singer, I mean, I saw him at the Fet years ago, and he kills all those songs, you know what I mean? Like, it's still, I cried watching that show. Like, he is those songs. Like, if I know there's like a negative connotation with Morrissey, but Johnny Marr is those songs.
I agree with that.
And so I feel like he's the influence for, like, the kind of stuff that we're taking from the Smiths into our music. And like, and I feel like Cynthia also, like, mirrors, like, the kind of lyricism that he brought to the table, as well as, like, Napalm stuff from Hiatus Coyote. And it's kind of like a little mix of those kind of things.
Rest in peace to the bassist too. He passed away.
Let's see. All right, music time capsule. Pick 5 songs that you think defines your band's musical journey.
Like one each, or like
Yeah, one
We could
each.
do one each.
Or,
That's a really good question.
do they have to be our songs or just
No,
any
just
songs?
like
Any
yeah,
songs.
just
It
whatever
can even be from, like,
influence.
old bands or just anything.
We know for
The
sure.
world is yours here.
I mean, After the Storm by Kali Uchis,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's a
Tyler
good
the
one.
Creator,
Yeah.
that we covered that one for a while. I feel like a lot of our covers kind of, like,
Yeah.
capture what we like and the kind of stuff that influences us.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to say, like, a Hiatus Coyote song. I think
Nakamura.
I would say we'd have to start with Nakamura because we named ourselves after that. So, like, it'll always have, like, a, you know, a deep meaning with the band and stuff like that. Because, you know, we're all gonna go see them too because they're playing in June. So,
June
like,
28th, which,
we're excited.
fingers crossed, will be around the time we release the album.
No,
Yeah.
that'll be a nice little.
What about you,
Honorary.
Riley? Because you're coming from the outside
Yeah.
into the band. Like, what do you think
I mean,
after, like, seeing us play and stuff?
honestly, for me, it was like seeing guys play Vanilla the first time, and it was like my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, I want to play that kind of music. Like, I straight up, this was like, I think I was like a week into college, and you guys were playing Vanilla, and I was just like, just jaw on the floor. Just like, I could not.
Vanillas are more like instrumental, like little like experimental project that we had that we used for like fillers in the middle.
Yeah,
we haven't
yeah.
played it in a second,
Yeah.
but it's really
It'll
great
come back.
pop.
It'll come back.
It'll make
yeah.
its comeback for sure. Yeah.
And what about you, Michaela?
Do you have any?
I would say, I remember our first song that we ever covered was Zombie by the Cranberries. And it was just
that's
very,
a-
like, iconic moment. Like, it's like, you know, it's like a very overplayed song, but it was like the first song that we, like, came together and, like, played, like, during an open mic or something. And it was good. And that was, like, one of my first experiences, like, playing with a band when I joined college. And it was a really good experience for me. Got me out of my shell and stuff. So I just remember that. I also remember when we played The Pot by Tool.
That was such a hard song to learn how to play, and we crushed it the first time. I think that we played it
But
at
then we
the-
played it at Alchemy, and there was one guy doing sound there.
Well,
we
fucked it up.
flubbed it up, and the guy was like, "That was ambitious." Like,
It was like you should have heard us the first time. I feel like that's
Harrison
so
had just come back from Africa because we split that show. Harrison and I.
yeah.
Sure.
I got another one. Well, actually, I might skip that one. Actually, now you guys have been Yeah, you know.
Cut for time.
Cut for time. Now you guys have been seen all around the Rhode Island area, playing show after show, from News Cafe in Pawtucket to like the Pump House, which is down in South County. What do you think was your wildest experience while performing at a show?
Some of those URI shows.
Oh God, yeah.
Were crazy. I remember when we did a guild show when it was like almost like the last year before y'all graduated.
Was that
And
the
like
Jelani Say show?
no, we were in the atrium on top of that raised stage.
Yeah.
And like everybody was like singing the stuff back, and like you were like smacking the floor and stuff like that.
Oh no, Josh, that wasn't a URL
That
show.
was that AS220?
It was ASC20. Yes,
Oh,
that was with Wax On and with Male Culture.
Oh, that was awesome. Like
I have two really cool.
it was with everybody from
moments,
Guild
too.
came and stuff, and it was really cool. Like
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. One, I have two that I have to mention. One was when we played with Great Big Pile of Leaves, like on this. Remember?
Oh,
we,
URI Fest.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did the
Yeah.
URI Fest, which was
Nice.
basically like the dubbed version of like what the cannabis fest that they do.
Yeah.
Like, cause like they were saying like, oh, there's no weed allowed on campus, but that was just basically that version of that. But that one was really cool, cause like, you know, they played like 2 bands after us, and like it was
Yeah.
a really cool experience.
play with the Benjis on that day
Yeah.
too. Like,
Wax
yeah.
On
Those
was
were really
there.
good,
Yeah.
And then I remember also playing a show. Do you guys remember the Tip show that we played in Lowell? That
Oh,
was
and then we went to
crazy.
that abandoned
Well, it was
asylum.
like a hot ass basement. Like,
Yeah,
Was
but
that
then we
the
went to
glitter
the
box or
asylum
the
after.
tip?
No, that
Remember?
wasn't the glitter box. It was
Okay.
it was a tip. It was a tip. It was pretty dangerous down there. Like I would have to say, like it was hot. Like at least the vocals were like distorted as fuck, and like it was just a wild experience in itself. But it's just like I think that we all have a love overall for like DIY music scene, and I just appreciate the lengths that people go to just kind of like vibe and chill. And I think that that's the bright side of things. Obviously, you know, we practice a lot and we want things to sound really good, but if it comes to that, I think that we just enjoy it either way, because playing in other places is really cool too. So
Yeah.
I really like that one. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I got one for Josh.
Yeah.
You currently work as a painter.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, how do you like it as a career? Or maybe, have you ever considered painting instruments for your band
So
members?
that's the funny thing. Like I'm so proud of these guys. Like college, like they took college in full stride. They really put their heads down, and they got that shit done. They're professionals through and through, and y'all should be very proud of yourselves for what you did there. Like all of you. Unfortunately for me, that wasn't my experience. You know, I kind of life got in the way, and I had to focus on my mental health. And because of doing that, I had to get to work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, initially I reached out to this. I was at a bazaar at the Hope High School. They had like records and stuff. We were gonna do like a Secret Santa thing for a guild. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go find. I had Riley actually, so I went there to go and find him a gift. And
The Oyster Cult record.
yeah. But so then there was some guitars there, and they were like, you know, it was called Unified Guitars, and the guy wasn't at the booth, but he left a business card. So I emailed him. You know, I'm still trying to find my way in life in general, and it's like, hey, like, I'm really interested in this. Could we talk about this at some point? And Bill Paukert, he's a great guy. He was one of my mentors after URI. He taught me how to work with my hands and, like, you know, give a shit about something, and to, you know, really care about the process of how something is made. That gave me a lot of discipline that I carried with me into my other jobs down the line. And I never would have had the jobs that I have now if it wasn't for what he taught me. We did everything from building guitars to freaking, you know, doing sculptures for commercial sets. We made reclaimed furniture. Like, it was a whole hands-on experience. There was this guy, Evan, from another band in the kind of like, he played with like with Connor Lenehan and all those guys. I forgot what his name is, Evan, but if he sees this, he's in the music scene. He made guitars with Bill too, and he was a really cool dude. I met him before. But that allowed me to get a job in spray painting, and I just kind of took it from there. I went into cabinetry for a little while after that job, after COVID, and now I'm in industrial painting. It's we do signs like like all the Gillette Stadium stuff.
Yeah.
It's like painting metal. I wouldn't recommend. Listen. I think everybody doesn't have to really stick to the whole you have to go to college to do what you got to do. But for a lot of people, especially people if you grew up poor or as a minority, you really need to think about stuff like getting a degree, because at the end of the day, people want to see the piece of paper, and that'll just make your life easier. And
But you're still chasing that piece of paper.
yeah, I'm in school now. I'm at Rick.
Wow.
I have a few classes left. Then I'm going to do business management. But I'm still going to stick in paint, but I just don't want to breathe in the fumes anymore. Cancer doesn't sound good.
I get that.
But I love it, man. I like slinging paint. It's cool. It's yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Josh made my pick guard.
Oh, that's awesome.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's, he did a really good job on my base, so it's good. He's double skilled. He's a musician and
A painter. A true artist.
True artist. Perfect. I had one for Emily, but I don't think.
Well, you can ask
Honestly,
it,
yeah,
and
we
can
can-
try to-
we
Sure.
send it to her.
All right. I have one. Wow. All right. The pianist and backup singer of the group here. You work as a music teacher. Have you ever had a student of yours teach you something creatively that you have brought to the band in any way, shape, or form? I don't know if you guys can answer that one.
I mean,
I love the elaborate questions.
I mean,
though.
she teaches elementary school, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I think that overall her kid, I think she definitely, on top of them being like younger kids, I think she definitely feels like, she's teaching them music, and I think that overall teaching young kids music.
that's me.
How you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you? No, she's really great with it. You have a lot of. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're very nice. She's a great teacher. She has a lot of great discipline and a lot of patience. So the fact that she's teaching younger kids, music, I think that that's really important, because I think that all in all, it kind of helps you deal with your everyday struggles. Don't want to sound cliche or kind of stupid like that, but I think that it
You
helps
can handle elementary school kids.
Yeah.
You can
Right,
take on
exactly.
anything, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she
you can
definitely
also
feels influenced in that way.
you can also send that to us, and I can get an actual answer from her.
Yeah.
no doubt. Okay, cool. Oh, I had a few pictures I'd like to show
Oh, boy.
to you guys real quick.
Sure.
Just real quick here. So this one.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
it's got Harrison in there.
Yeah.
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 I look very different in a lot of those pictures. It looks like I'm a different person.
Shout out to Harrison.
yeah,
He's
shout
our
out to
first
Harrison.
Drummer.
Maybe
he's
some
doing other projects.
context, like what's going
That's
on?
at Askew.
That's at Askew. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's still there, but
that wasn't still there.
It is? Okay. So Askew's are really cool. It's actually diagonally across from Alchemy. It's a really cool, little dive bar-ish, but it's also really kind of
They
comfy,
do.
like-
Yeah,
They
they
do
do
funk
tons of
nights
music.
and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
they do tons of music. They do.
Shout out to Jeff.
Their food is great.
Yeah,
the
they
cauliflower.
do drag nights. They do a
cauliflower's
lot of
lit.
really elaborate things and diverse events. So that's where that picture is.
Yeah, we
from.
just crammed
That's a
ourselves
while.
in.
That's a while ago for sure.
I got one more. I think this is.
Oh.
You had some fill-ins that night.
Yeah.
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 So
I mean, Harrison wasn't really filling in on
right,
that gig.
no, he wasn't. But so obviously Harrison was still in there. We had Steve, who
Yeah.
is our dear friend who fills in for
Yeah.
Michaela whenever Michaela can't be there.
Steve plays bass for the Brian James.
He
Quartet?
he left that.
He
just
recently left
yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
he played a lot for that
He's
group.
with you too, right?
Yeah,
Plays in the Extet. A
Yep.
lot of jazz. He's a great jazz musician. He's crazy.
Really great bassist overall
Yeah.
too. But it was a Halloween show and we were dressed up as Scooby Doo gang because we all pulled it off. So.
I actually might ask that last question. Once again, this one's for Cynthia. Okay, so finish this. I promise wraps around it as a reminder of an old.
Can you say that again? Is this mine again?
That's yours.
Is this what you say it again? I promise what?
I promise wraps around it as a reminder of an old.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh gosh, jeez. Oh, I can't even think of it right. Because you're saying it, so I'm like...
I'm saying...
I don't know.
Like once the music kicks in, your reflexes take over.
Right. I'm like,
I can finish it if you want.
Yeah, finish the one.
MCR song reference?
oh, wait, can I see this?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, where is it?
Yeah. Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
So I promise rap. Oh, you read poetry.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
So that's a poem that I wrote for so I do like a lot of poetry on the side because that's what I focus in college. Like it's like creative writing. So I have like a poetry page, and I wrote this poem about a tattoo that I have with a friend, and it's the I promise because it's a MCR, the I'm Not Okay song. And she's been my friend since forever, so she's like, let's get a matching tattoo, and so we did that, and like the coffin wasn't gonna be a part of it, and then like it was added last minute, and I was like, well, fuck, I'll have a coffin on me, sure. But yeah, that's one of my poem that I wrote. I honestly forgot the name of it. But it's so funny that you brought it up because I was like, oh shit, that's not a song. Like,
But it is an MCR tattoo, right?
yes, it is an MCR tattoo. Yeah. We actually went to go see him too, so that was like, I was excited.
I guess I had a question for it, but it was like incorporating poetry with music. Like, have you ever had anything like get the funk treatment from the rest of the band from like a poem that you've written or anything?
That's
like
kind
that?
of our writing process, right?
Yeah. Definitely the guys.
We tried doing like just poetry.
Oh yeah, it was
yeah,
filled
nah.
in.
I think that we should have planned it out
So
better,
reggae.
and it would have been executed. I
Yeah.
think we were just being spontaneous.
Yeah.
We didn't
They're
practice.
like, I'll
it
just
that
jam
well.
on this poetry. And
Yeah.
I think we were playing like a reggae feat with a reggae feel.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
pretty
waiting.
honored and happy to get to play with these guys. They're so talented, and they typically come up with with the foundation of it. They come up with the instrumental. They really like sit down and like map things out. I'm always there too, like just in case I find some inspiration from it. But typically afterwards, I'll find some sort of melody after they've kind of
Or a
constructed
poem
it.
that you've written
right,
before,
or a
and then
poem,
you
exactly.
you
Or
kinda just
sometimes
work
I'll write off of what is influenced by it, but definitely pull stuff in here. Pull stuff from. If you ever like go, I archived a lot of my poems.
I think
but-
that's why the lyrical style gets the style that it has
Yeah.
from you is because of the
poet.
back and forth with poetry.
And shout out to Harrison, because I remember when Harrison was in the band, he influenced a lot of the very like kind of rappy style. That's kind of how beat song is.
Yeah.
Like, and I say that was definitely a big influence on the lyrics for that, because him and I wrote the lyrics for that one. So definitely shout out to Harrison for that.
All right, guys, that's all I got.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Your very valuable time. And yeah, that's really it. This is
Long live the
Grizzlies.
scene.
Yeah,
long live the scene.
Love it.